Hello, my darlings. Madam Raven here with part 2 of My Favorite Actor Doesn't Exist Anymore by DopaBeane. Something is very wrong, and it goes beyond missing actors and disappearing internet friends. First, I haven't been able to leave my apartment. I know it sounds like a couple of steps up the delusional du jour ladder, but it's not. It started last night. I needed to pick up things from the store, so I prepared to leave, but it was literally impossible. A flat, nondescript expanse of white wall has replaced my front door. The windows disappeared too. Now I only have walls, empty walls, and no way out. All of my things are here, and the lights and water work. I suspect I was having a breakdown of some kind. Maybe they were invisible to me, I reasoned. But they still had to be there. So I started pushing and banging where the walls and windows used to be. Nothing worked. So I used a hammer. No matter how hard I hit it, it just bounced harmlessly, without even scuffing the paint. I tried to use my phone, but I had no signal, and nothing went through. After hours of smashing at the walls and screaming my head off, I passed out in front of the place my door was supposed to be. I startled awake to a deafening, disorienting boom. I shot up, scrabbling for a door that didn't exist. The booming continued. Someone was banging on the walls, but it's weird places. Places people can't reach. The ceiling, the hallway, the bathroom. In other words, they were somehow banging on the walls inside my apartment. There was a method to this cacophony, though. It wasn't intimidation. They were searching for something, like a blind man stammering around in a cave. "Where's the door?" A man's voice, only slightly muffled, emanated from the floor. The thing is, I live on the ground floor, over a concrete foundation. No one could possibly be down there. A radio crackled and a tinny voice responded. "If you can't find the door, look for the window." "There's nothing!" Another series of inquisitive slaps and bangs, this time from the ceiling. "Nothing's here!" Loud footsteps echoed from the wall closet to my head. "There's been a mistake. It's already done." Another barrage of slapping and kicking, this time from the kitchen wall. I opened my mouth to scream for help, but the radio piped up again. "Something's in there, or it wouldn't be hidden. Find a way in and kill it." I staggered back from the door wall. Heavy footsteps sounded from the opposite side, causing me to whirl around. My clean, Spartan apartment looked empty. But those footsteps... it was madness. The stepper teleported across my apartment in a single step. Another took him to the floor above me, and the one after that underground, all in fractions of a second. "There's no way in. I can't even see it. I don't even think there's anything here." "Yes, there is. If it's an animal, it will starve, and the problem takes care of itself. If it's human, it has to come out eventually. Again, the problem takes care of itself." "I can't wait here indefinitely." "You will do what you need to do." Following this cryptic pronouncement, the apartment quaked around me. I dived for the coffee table and curled underneath, clenching my teeth so my jaw wouldn't click painfully. I squeezed my eyes shut. After what felt like forever, the quaking tapered off and faded. "Nothing," the man said, but he sounded distant. "If anything's here, it's dead." "You will wait," the radio voice responded crisply. I crept out from under the table and crawled to my room, where I'd left my cell phone on the bed. No signal, but I tried 911 anyway. The phone rang. I gasped and pressed the phone to my ear. A lady answered and said, "Honey, listen, I know you're scared, but you need to open the door." My heart seized and dropped to my feet. "There's none." "That isn't true, and you know it. We want to help you. We need to help you, but you have to let us in." In the distance, and muffled by walks, I heard the man shouting excitedly. Seconds later, the pounding resumed. I whined like a coward, like a beaten dog, and hung up. Then I shut my bedroom door and, for lack of anything better to do, booted up my computer. The Wi-Fi works. Unlike the phone, nothing has intercepted or hijacked the signal so far. So I decided to see if anything other than Alexandre Lavar was missing or different. I don't know what's happening, but I know nothing is right. This world, the one without my online friend or my favorite actor, isn't remotely the same. Everything is wrong. I don't know where to start. First, the culture is not normal anymore. Pseudo-Abrahamic philosophies are societal bedrock here. Am I right? This makes no sense. In the vision of the world I'm from, Americana is basically a cult. But in this version of the world, a cult is a dirty word because of a politically bent offshoot of one religion says so. No wonder Alexandre Lavar doesn't exist here. These attitudes mean a show like Strayaways probably wouldn't even be made now, let alone in the 1990s. In my world, pagan religions, some of which don't even seem to exist here, abound and exert political and social influence. Don't get me wrong, Christianity is definitely an important religious force. I'm Christian myself, but something else, Luciferianism, is essentially outlawed where I come from. Not that everyone necessarily agrees on right infringements, but there's a reason. In my world, and for the sake of brevity, call it World A, the satanic panic was based in reality. As in, investigators proved that a powerful, violent Luciferian cult was killing people. The cult was centuries old and had long infiltrated major governments and businesses. We officially referred to this as the scandals. The scandals brought the world crashing down. It was breathtakingly insane. For example, some European prime minister was caught dismembering wards of the state in Parliament. It was just one of many sacrifices to ensure the achievement of its political goals. But that's just one piece of it, and hardly the worst. I mean, it was an international sacrificial pedophile cult. It went to the highest levels of different governments and rightly resulted in dynastic downfalls and the shutting of many international firms, including companies that dealt in oil, textiles, shipping, banking, and the arts. Everything imploded. And none of that happened in World B. Anyway, the economy tanked. The mid-'80s through the late '90s were extremely difficult for most of the Western world because of a substantial number of Western world pillars were imprisoned or killed for engaging in frequent human sacrifice. Speaking of sacrifices, it's not unusual, though it is frowned on, to sacrifice animals, especially in rural areas. We have folk remedies and witch doctors and self-styled sorcerers in droves, high priests and priestesses for dozens of major religions and thousands of their offshoots. Sorry I keep bringing it up. I just can't wrap my head around the difference in terms of faith. Also, things in World A are a lot, simpler? We're not poor. If anything, low-class people have a lot more of everything, including assets and general security. We have rich people, of course, most of whom earned their wealth after the scandal. What we don't have are the old money dynasties pulling all the strings anymore. This is because so many of the old money bloodlines were tied up in the scandals. Their money was seized. No one really knows where it went. And they're all dead or rotting away in underground cells. Believe it or not, everything actually worked out okay for normal folks. I mean, things weren't easy at first, but it all leveled out on the small scale, and people are doing fine. So I've covered cultural, history, and very slight approximation of economy. There's one last thing that's really standing out to me. Healthcare. In World A, a good country doctor will take a $20 bill and a laying hen or piglet. In fact, it's so common we've got farmer doctors the way we used to have barber surgeons. Like the industries are almost intertwined in some regions. As for hospitals, they can be expensive, but they don't ever bankrupt working-class patients. We might be simple, and we might be pretty poor on the national scale, but no one in World A dies because they don't have any money for medicine. Don't get me wrong, it was bad for a little while, but when the economy crashed post-scandals, everyone, including doctors, surgeons, dentists, and lawyers, had to figure out a system that allowed everyone to survive, and this is how it turned out. So does any of this sound right? Does anyone remember this, or does everyone else only know World B? Anyway, partway through this insane research session, I got another batch of MIs from someone who says he's Ray, my internet best friend who stopped talking to me 4 days ago. This time the user's screen tag isn't unknown, and it certainly isn't a string of gibberish. The tag is Straya Ray 9. It probably means nothing, but I can't quite convince myself of that. The messages arrived all at once with disparate timestamps. Some of the timestamps are weeks old. Altogether, they spell out very elaborate instructions for what sounds like a hell of a train ride. Here are the described messages from Ray. This is what you need to do. Amtrak, Bakersfield, walk in at 11:01 p.m. Not before, not after. Buy a ticket from the second window from the left. Don't tell him where. Only tell him 1 for the 11:31. No more, no less. Take the ticket and wait as far as you can from the window. When the ticket seller starts calling you, ignore him. If he says your name before the train comes, run away from the station. No matter what he does, don't react. Even if he screams at you or touches you, he can't harm you unless you acknowledge him. Don't give your ticket to anyone, no matter what. Ignore everyone, no matter what. When the train comes, board quickly and take any seat. Don't speak to anyone. Don't interact with anyone, even if they speak, yell, or touch you. Wait until sunrise and start counting the stops. Get off at the 5th stop after sunrise. Do not get off before. Do not miss your stop. I will be waiting for you. I barely scanned the messages before typing back. I can't get out of here. There are no doors. A wild barrage of messages followed. Tough luck for you. Look at what's the same. Trap, trap, trap. Starve, starve, starve. It's not what it seems. I want to tell you more. Where are you? Where are you? Them in. Show me where. Look at what's the same, and they won't see you. Where the freak are you, slut? Take the train. They can't get on the train yet. Bye. And that was it. I've been sitting here for hours waiting for him to come back online. No luck so far. Meanwhile, my cell phone keeps ringing and the man outside is still trying to find a way in. I don't know what Ray means by look at what's the same. Nothing is the same, and honestly, I don't even know if that was Ray. Even if it is, I don't know why he sent me all of that. I guess it isn't any stranger than what's happening now, but still. I hope I figure out what's happening soon. I need to get out of here somewhere. I still have light and water, but not much food. I don't think I'll last very long. So quoth this raven.